Arguably, this could be one of the biggest driver head-to-heads currently out there because the Ping G430 10K Max is an absolute powerhouse when it comes to forgiveness, stability, the retention across the face when it comes to ball speed and spin on those miss hits is just almost unparalleled. It's a fantastic driver. Maybe not the longest out there, but it also ain't short. And now we've got the brand new GT lineup coming out from Titleist. The TSRs were phenomenal. They were right up there as well. Now this is the most tech-packed driver that Titleist have ever released. Now the question is, can the GT2 keep up with the Ping 430 10K? How are they going to compare out the mid-long hits, launch spin, ball speed, distance, all that stuff, and then how are they going to perform on the bad hits? And I hit a lot of bad hits today testing across the face, some horrible strikes, horrible swings. Can the GT2 keep up with the 10K when it comes to forgiveness? Talking look, sound, feel, all the number comparison. You know how we do it in here, super in-depth. If you love what we do, please subscribe. We're trying to grow. We'd really appreciate it. Let's jump in. It's now a different day. I've just finished editing this video. It took about 6-7 hours. And I thought, you know what? Why not go the extra mile on a Saturday evening? Let's add a 90-mile-an-hour swing speed data set into this video because I know you guys love that. So just one more reason to show us a little bit of love and subscribe. So if you want to see that, I'm going to add that right at the very end of this video. Some 90-mile-an-hour swings and a 10-shot data set to compare these two as well. So we're going to dive straight into the testing. First up, we're going to go G430 10K Max specs-wise. 9-degree head, just set at 9 degrees. Got Titleist 1K Pro Orange 50X, playing 45 inches. And this is swing weight in D5. Head weights, we've checked 196 or fraction over 196 for the 10K, 194 for the GT2, which actually quite surprised me. So there's only a smidge of head weight difference between these two. This swing weight in D5, so I'm going to get 20 shots with each. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. You get the picture. Back and forward. Let's do it. That was pretty good. Straight down the line. They do feel solid, the Pings. They really do, especially like slightly lower center. One of the most low struck heads in the world. Honestly, if anyone's got a high strike pattern, I give them this head, the 10K especially in the bay, just go straight down the face. Numbers wise, what we're looking at there, 8.5 launch, 2.5 spin. It's actually really not good driver numbers. And that's not the driver's fault, that's my fault. But 300 yards down the middle, I'll take it. Oh, that was horrendous. These ones are going to be the interesting ones to look at. So it was not a good strike. Yeah, super low, which again tends to be a trait. It really does. I mean, that was not a good swing, but it tends to be a trait of these Ping heads. 7 launch, 3-1 spin, still 287 down the middle. I mean, it's a decent result. Oh, actually, it felt like a decent swing, but just turned it over. This is also the widest fairway known to mankind, so that was 36 yards left, which in real world is probably a bit iffy. And it didn't feel like a bad swing. That is another thing that's going to be really interesting to take a look at, how left biased, because the Ping generally I do find quite left biased, especially 10K. Is the GT2 like as left biased? There we go. Actually out the middle. Yeah, just over 280 carry, which is like, it's decent. Numbers were good on that one. I think if I were fitting myself for a driver, I'd go up in loft because that was pretty middle, 10.5 launch, 2-1 spin. It's a bit iffy, but still good driver numbers. First one out the middle, 308, pretty good. Okay, 5 shots done with the Ping into the GT2. Straight off the bat, same specs. We've got the 1K Orange 50X, same playing length. Obviously the head weight is a couple of grams lighter, so now the swing weight goes down from D5 to just a smidge under D4, so a little bit lighter, probably a little bit of a better swing weight for me and probably a lot of people realistically. Looks wise, the one thing that stands out straight away is it sits far more neutral, like just square. The Ping always looks close to my eye, which obviously I don't like. The head shape looks nicer. The head kind of size looks nicer. The Ping looks really, really big. This just sits really neutral, really nice. The shape's lovely. And yeah, it's just a really, really nice looking driver. If you want to know all about the tech on these new GTs, we've just launched a brand new video going through everything. We had Jack down from Titleist take us through all of the tech, all of the changes, some really cool stuff been done in these drivers. So go and take a look at that video, I'll link it below. That was not a good hit. Instantly swing speed jumped. That was high on the face. It wasn't a good strike, but obviously high on the face is not necessarily a bad thing. You're looking higher launch, lower spin. It's got 13 launch, 1900 backspin, 115 club head speed definitely jumped. Not a surprise. Ping is certainly one of the lower end sort of swing speed. We see it all the time in fits. It's just harder to move that head as fast. It's only 2 grams, so it could be a little bit due to the head weight, but I really do think it's just aerodynamics. It's a big lump to move. And even though it is one swing weight, it's noticeable and it feels nicer in the hands. Now that's interesting because that felt like it was going to go left. It's actually really good. Again, couldn't grumble at that. I mean, that definitely felt like for me, if that was with the Ping, then that was going to go left. Okay, the face wasn't as closed, a little bit of a low heel strike. Again, for that, it's done really, really well. And again, you're more than likely in the fairway at 300. Again, it's not a good strike. I mean, the results with this are just so much better, but it's a little bit due to head design. As I said, high on the face, 13 launch, 2-4 spin, good numbers. As I said with that Ping, it's so easy to bottom it, where the message is low and far back, and it's just, I see it so often in fits, and I have always found it since we've had Ping. Fantastic head, super stable, but do tend to get lower strikes, which obviously reduces launch, increases the spin, loses distance, whereas high on the face does that, and it's a great result. Again, similar, little high on the face. Again, same result, very good. I must say one thing, because I've hit 3 out of the 4 high in the head on this, and generally high in the face strikes feel very hollow, very like weak and not good, but on this, it's noticeably more solid. And the Ping is probably the most solid feeling head out there, again, subjective. Haven't hit one really good with this yet, but it's not far away. Quick comparison of the club data so far. First 5 shots, the GT2 is up 2 miles an hour in swing speed. We can see average strike, 9 mil low with the Ping and 3 mil high with the GT. Back into the 430, I must say I definitely prefer the GT down by the board. Again, just the shape, the way it looks, the fact it doesn't look closed. But, you know, it's going to be subjective. Let me know what you think in the comments. That was a good swing. That was just a good swing. 280 carry. Again, that club speed back down straight away, and I'm literally just changing the heads and swinging instantly. Back down to 112. I was at 114, 115 with the GT2. Definite noticeable difference in swing speed. 100%. 9.5 launch, 2-2 spin, 307 in the fairway. Again, it's a good result. And again, the strike back to slightly low on the face. Again, better swing. Just does feel like it wants to curve that a little bit more. I'll absolutely take that result on this hole. Yeah, again, just getting that face a little bit more closed relative to the path. I think the toe strike helped me by kicking that face open slightly at impact. Feel-wise, I will reserve judgment for now. I still feel like Ping feels slightly, a little bit more solid, I would say. A bit thuddier, but it is a heavy head. Again, nice, good strike. Yeah, that was a good one, that. Started that a little bit more out to the right, which is good. Which has got that launch up a little bit more, which I like. Launch up to 11.5, spin 2.5. Again, strike good. Good efficiency. The efficiency is going to be an interesting one to look at, because the Ping is probably the most efficient head out there, I would say. Oh, that's so bad. So easy to hit this Ping thin. But, again, it is the king of the bottom strikes. I'll be really interested to see if we can get a couple like that with the Titleist, because super low in the head. Okay, the launch comes down, the spin comes up. It's not too bad, 2800 spin. Still 270 carry, rolling out to 290 in the fairway. I've always said the Ping is the king of the low strike. So if we can get a couple like that with the GT2, it'd be really interesting to compare. And that's the opposite. That's slightly high toe. Again, it just does well, doesn't it? Really well. I mean, again, the Ping, realistically, currently, it's kind of the king of efficiency, the king of mishits. That's why this head-to-head is going to be the one against the GT2. Slightly high toe, fantastic ball flight, fantastic distance, still 145 efficiency. Back into the GT2, again, it's just such a nice looking head, isn't it? I mean, so sleek, like modern, looks fast, like the GT2, it matches the name, doesn't it? It almost looks like a car, kind of streamlined and quick. And yeah, I really, really love the look of this GT2. That last one was 113 with a Ping. Let's see if the swing speed jumps again, or if it's just me. Oh, there's one. We got one. I couldn't have hit that any worse, if I'm completely honest. I'm very impressed at how that's done, because let's see where that strike was. Like, worst strike of the day by a million miles. Swing speed, again, it's back up around that 115, so definitely a swing speed jump there. Let's see how that's done. 23 yards offline, probably not the end of the world, to be fair, unless you're on a very tight hole, you're getting away with that. 278 total distance. From that strike, that's impressive. Oh, that'd be interesting as well. I'm mishitting the absolute hell out of this thing. That was terrible. I mean, it's gone a long way. 18.9, I mean, the ball speed, 167 ball speed from that is very good. Just a bit too low spin, bit of a toe strike, curve, yeah, 40 yards offline, that's dead. So although the ball speed retained really well, spin probably retained not bad, 1900, still, I'd be dead. Again, really, really not a good strike at all. But what a result. Again, that ball speed is impressive from that strike, I must say. Again, high toe, not a good strike. We see the spin drop because it felt very weak, that strike. But 165 ball speed, 291 carry, 21 yards offline. Absolutely phenomenal. That was close. That was close. Much better ball flight. Again, around 290 carry. I mean, just seems like he wants to carry about 290 no matter where you hit it in the face. Yeah, it was better. It was better. Slightly toe. Again, 166 ball, pretty strong. I mean, I must say, at the middle it's great. On the mishits, it does seem pretty damn good. Is it as good as a Ping? I'll have to think about that and leave it for the summary. Back to the 10K, you can see we're on shot 21, so that's 10 now hit with each. I'm going to get 5 more with each, and then we'll look at the average numbers. For the average numbers, I will take out any of the horrendous shots. I'm obviously going to show those to you, so you can see what you think about them and see how they compare. Again, let me know what you think, but I'll take them out of the average data sets. I'll leave the decent ones in there, I'll leave the really good ones in there, so it'll just give us more of a fair average to compare the two. Oh my Jeez Louise. Now that's quite good because that is very similar, if not identical almost, to the one I hit with the GT2. The first one last time, which I can't remember the exact numbers. There you go. Way, way low heel. I think the spin's fairly similar. I don't know, I'll have to pull up and have a look. So the ball speed was the same. The launch was basically the same. The spin with the Ping on that one was 29, where it was about 33 with the Titleist. Only thing I will say is that was not quite as heely as the Titleist. The GT2 was 20 mil in the heel, 11 mil low, and this was 12 mil in the heel, 12 mil low. So not quite as heely, so not a direct comparison, but fairly similar. So what did we see? We saw 7 yards more carry out of this, but offline was identical. So ball speed identical, offline identical. Spin was a little bit lower with the Ping resulting in 7 yards more carry, but it wasn't quite as heely. Again, take from that what you will. Again, just bottom. Like, the Ping just loves a bottom strike. Yeah, just bottom. Oh, I nearly missed that. Again, done so well. That was terrible. 270 carry. Well, again, if anyone moans about ball striking, saying I'm much better than them, I have barely hit the middle in this test. And really, it's better for someone with more speed to do these kind of tests and miss hit, because you're putting a lot more force through the head on those miss hits. Whereas if you're someone who's swinging 20 mile an hour slower than me, you're barely going to get any gear effect at all, really. It'll be a lot better for you than it will for me. So I'm really testing the stability of the off-center hits. And that felt really good. It's the only thing with this 10K, does just feel a bit easier to get it turning. That felt like a reasonable swing. Felt similar to the one earlier, what I said, the same with the GT. I think the face was 1.7 close with that. It was what, 2.9 with that, and just curves that bit more 37 offline. It felt like a good swing. Right, final 5 with the GT2. Interesting. Again, that thought I might even turn that over a fraction, but it just held down the right, which I don't mind at all. Yeah, good strike. Just a little open face. Again, the club speed is, yeah, you can swing this faster. That was closer. That was closer. Again, don't mind that. It's a little bit leaky down the right, but yeah, 290 carry. Again, better strike. Actually was probably one of the better swings with the GT2. Yeah, really good shot that. One of the best swings of the day, so that'd be a good one to look at. 12 launch, 2-3 backspin, really good numbers, good strike. It's that 166 ball speed, 293 carry. Love that. Speed tests. So Titleist are great. They send us sort of fully customizable weight pack so we can change all the head weights. So what I've done is I've added the plus 2 gram weight to the back of the GT2. Now that brings the head weight up to basically exactly the same as the 430 10K, just to check and see, is it the head weight that's causing that swing speed difference? We were consistently seeing around 114, 115 with the GT2 compared to around 112, 111, 112, maybe touching 113 with the G430 10K. So let's see. Quite a good hit. Strike felt nice. Still around that 290 carry. Yeah, 114.7. Getting a little high on the face, but that could get out there. Yeah, probably longest of the day, that. Again, just over 115. Again, nice. Good drive. Probably didn't even have to look at that. I bet it carried around 290, didn't it? Yeah, 114.4. Strike got a lot tighter. There we see the results of the speed test. So the G430 10K on average, 112.4, and the GT2 stock kind of head weight, 114.4, and then 114.8. So basically exactly the same with that little bit more mass in. So there's definitely a noticeable difference in swing speed between these two heads, and it will be shape and aerodynamics that's doing that. It is not head weight. So actually what we'll do first of all, this is no shots deleted at all. So that's 15 with each, and you saw good ones, terrible ones. So it'll be a good idea of like where we're at with everything in there, and then I'm going to tidy it up and make it a bit more fair. So ball speed we see fairly similar, touch more out of the GT2. Launch, we did get quite a lot more out of the GT2, almost 3 degrees on average, but again, that is going to come a lot down to strike. As you saw, the ping, so much was low in the head. Regardless of what I was trying to do, it was thin. That is obviously going to reduce the launch a lot. So bear that in mind. Spin exactly the same though, you know, no difference. We're going to ignore that bottom one, that's the speed test. Spin almost identical actually, which is interesting. Slightly tighter, to be fair, with the ping. Again, take from that what you will. The deviation we can see, sorry, the dispersion we can see that the Titleist on average, more right biased. The ping on average, slightly more left bias. Dispersion may be slightly tighter with the ping, but it was on average more left. Again, I'm always going to put that down to me more in terms of average dispersion. You make one bad swing and it's gone over there, one bad swing it's gone over there, and all of a sudden you've got this huge dispersion, right? Because the average front to back was exactly the same, but on average, we nearly got 10 yards more out of the GT2. And again, that's probably going to have a lot to do with the fact that the Ping was low strikes. We know that reduces distance, and it was just so happens with the GT2, I was hitting it much higher on the head. So yeah, that's where that extra distance is going to be coming from. Right, so let's clean up this data and see with better strikes how they compare. Right, cleaned up data set here. We can see a noticeably higher ball flight coming from the GT2. That's a 96 peak with the G430 and a 112 with the Titleist. So quite a bit of a higher ball flight, and again, that's coming from a little bit more ball speed. You can see 1 more mile an hour ball speed coming from the GT2 over the Ping, and just over a degree more launch as well. So a bit more ball speed, a little more launch, means it just climbs that little bit higher, that little bit longer. And we'll find out why in a minute. There's a reason for that. Spin-wise, absolutely identical. And that is quite impressive from the Ping, considering well, the reason for the lower launch is obviously I was still hitting it lower in the head, which is a design feature of that Ping. Well, it's not a design feature, but the way the head's designed, I see consistently people hit the Ping lower in the head than other models. So because of that, that may well be the case for you as well. So you might see again a little bit of that lower launch coming from the Ping. It adds a lot of spin when we hit it low. So the average strike being lower, it's really good that it still maintained 2,500 backspin. Really good. Carry-wise, we did see 7 yards more with the GT2. Again, a little bit more ball speed, a little bit more launch, staying in the air that little bit longer. You can see on average, we're still a little bit more left-sided with the Ping, so I would say that the Ping is a slightly more left-sided club than the GT2. Again, bear that in mind. And yeah, just a little bit lower launch, but if we take a little look at the club data, it'll probably tell us why. And that will be a big reason. So on average, 2 mil high with the GT2, so pretty good, and on average, 5 mil low with the Ping. And slightly more toe side, but again, considering, if you look at the efficiency, the Ping was still slightly more efficient. However, I would say that when we hit it low in the head, it's a much more efficient part of the face than high. High is not an efficient part of the head. Low is a very efficient part of the head. But what happens is obviously when we hit it low, great ball speed, great efficiency, but it brings down that launch. So even though the ball speed's good and the efficiency's good, we still lose distance. Whereas high on the face, obviously gears that face that way, higher launch, lower backspin, and you get more distance, even with less efficiency. So you can see slightly more efficiency out of the Ping, which the strike on average could have had something to do with that. But we still ended up getting more overall ball speed from the Titleist because that swing speed was on average 2 mile an hour quicker. And we proved that to be a design feature of the head. Aerodynamics. You can see the rest fairly good, in all fairness. You know, attack 3.335, path 3.936, face 2.3. Dynamic lies a little bit more up in with the GT2, interestingly. That could be that either the Ping was kind of actually drooping more with that little bit extra head weight, or it could just be that the GT2 is a little bit more upright. I'm not sure, I can find out. And then dynamic loft, we did actually see almost 2 degrees more delivered loft with the Ping as well. Even though the face was actually slightly more closed at impact. Sometimes if the face is open, that's going to obviously add loft at impact, but it wasn't. It was actually slightly more closed. We still see 2 degrees of more dynamic loft at impact, showing that that head with that design, where the mass and the CG is located, probably low and further back, it's deflecting more and adding more loft coming through impact. Which again could be a reason why it's causing lower strikes as well. You know, that more lead deflection, moving the head that way, moves the strike lower down the face. It could well be a reason. Right, so that's an in-depth look at the ball data and the club data. So let's sum up and see which one I would game. As promised, time for the 90 mile an hour swing speed. So I'm going to hit 15 shots with each. I'm sure this video is already very long, so I'm only going to show you 3 or 4, and then obviously we'll dive into just going through all the data as we do normally. First up, we're going Ping 430 10K, still 9 degree. Now we move into a slightly different shaft. This is the Project X Vortex Red, 50 gram, 5.5. Better. Really good that was. Really good. Yeah, again, really good strike. 147 efficiency, like, just don't really get any more efficient than that. That was ripped out the middle. Could not hit that any better. Yeah, awesome strike, 14 launch, 2.3 backspin, 146 efficiency, great efficiency, 92 swing speed, so I'll try and keep it around 92. Hey, we've got one high on the face with a Ping. Go on. And 250 down there. Or I say 4 mil high, it's still high. Oh, that's lovely. That is lovely. Yeah, good numbers. 15 launch, 2000 spin, 146 efficiency. Yeah, I mean, this head at this loft for this speed with this delivery, probably a little low. If we were running a fitting, I'd probably go up in loft a little bit. But as I always say, don't think that because I'm swinging at 90 mile an hour, I'm getting these numbers. If you swing at 90 mile an hour, that you'll get these numbers too. It doesn't work like that at all. Like I always say, you still need to get fitted. Swing speed is only a small part of the equation. What's more important is your delivery. Do you hit up? Do you hit down? Are you into out to in? What's your face relationship? What's your strike? What's your miss? All of those things are probably more important than swing speed. Swing speed is only a small part of the equation. So yeah, don't think that because I get these numbers at swinging at 90, you will too. You probably won't. You still need to get fitted. Bottom strike, bottom heel. Still 145 efficiency. Yep, slightly low heel. Not terrible, but a little bit low heel. Still, just doesn't lose efficiency, just doesn't lose ball speed. 242 down the middle. It's just a good driver. Moving into the GT2, obviously still 9 degree, back to the standard head weight, and now obviously we've still got the same shaft. Oh, that was not a great hit. Again, did very well. Just felt heely. Yeah, again, it always feels a lot worse than it looks. To be fair, I did swing that a little bit faster. Again, straight away, swung it 2 miles an hour faster. I wasn't trying. That's better. That was better. Better swing speed as well. Maybe slightly heeled, but best one so far. Yeah, nice. 4 mil heel, 13.3 launch, 2300 backspin, 145 efficiency. Very solid. Oh, that was a bad strike. Hollow sounding, high on the face, maybe a bit high toe. Yeah, high toe. Again, felt way worse than it looks. Good delivery though. Efficiency still great, 144 efficiency, maintained now. Obviously spin came down quite a lot. Didn't feel like a good strike, very high as we've discussed. But yeah, I mean, 250 down the middle. Was not great. Necky. Didn't feel very good. It wasn't terrible, but it didn't feel great. Yeah, a little bit in that low heel quadrant. Against 145 efficiency, 240 odd in the fairway, didn't curve that much. Again, pretty impressive. Bit better. Okay, it's probably slightly high, maybe high toe-ish. Yeah, great shot though. Slightly high in that toe, so spin comes down a fraction. Still 146. It's like way more efficient when you're swinging slower. Like, you just get more out of it in terms of ball speed relative to club speed. Again, 250 down the middle, nice little draw. Gorgeous. Average club data, I did delete a few from each just to try and get these variables as close as possible, like swing speed and stuff like that, just to make it a fair test, because obviously this is not my normal swing, so I'm just trying to make it as fair as I possibly can. You see the average, I forgot to change the tag as well for the Ping, so the driver is Ping and GT2 is obviously GT2. Swing speed on average, absolutely identical, so really fair test. Efficiency, now exactly the same. Again, didn't really expect too much different. Probably closes the gap at a slower swing speed. Strike, again, actually probably a fairer comparison. The Ping was still slightly lower. It's definitely still the same patterns. Easier to swing the Titleist faster. The Ping on average, probably easier to hit a little bit lower in the head. So same thing going on there. Angle of attack, pretty close. Path, I'm slightly more inside the Ping. Obviously, I wasn't trying to be, but it's just the way it panned out. I don't really think it affected the test too much in terms of fairness. Face angle was pretty much the same. Again, we see the dynamic lie, the toe being a bit more up with the Titleist. Again, a bit of a pattern there. And loft, actually pretty equal now. We see a tiny bit more with the Ping, but fairly equal. So overall, as a club delivery, about as fair as I can possibly make it. Ball data comparison, and we see again similar things. The GT2 ball flight flying quite a bit higher, which again for this swing speed is great. So we had a peak height of 69 with the Ping and 83 with the GT2. So again, a good win there. So we know the ball speed is identical because the swing speed and the efficiency was identical. So absolutely no more out of it. Again, we just see a bit more launch and more spin coming from the Titleist. And that's where we're getting that higher ball flight from, which again, absolutely great. Strike will be playing a little bit of a part of that, although it was much closer at this lower swing speed test. Carry the same. Like obviously the Ping was going to come in, you can see a little bit of extra roll out there. The Ping's obviously it's going to come in a bit lower, flatter, hotter, a few extra yards roll out, whereas the Titleist going to be a bit of a nicer flight, stay in the air a little bit longer. And again, on average, we can see the Titleist being a little bit more right-sided. Definitely a pattern in this test. Titleist, a little bit more down the right. So if you struggle with the right miss, Ping's always great. It's always one of my go-tos in fittings. Ping's just feel like it just wants to turn over. Like it's definitely more left biased. Bit of a lower ball flight, but really, I mean, on average, the distance is pretty much the same. Standard deviations across the board. I mean, again, it's a small data set really, but standard deviations are very, very comparable spin, maybe a bit tighter front to back with Titleist, but not much in it. So there you go. I'm knackered, so I hope you appreciated that little bit of extra data there at 90 mile an hour swing speed. If you did, obviously please subscribe. Right, now we can sum up. There we have it, another super in-depth head-to-head. As always, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below based on what I showed you. You've seen good shots, bad shots, comparing the data, everything. I'd love to know your thoughts and which one you would be picking. My opinion, mishits and kind of the retention perspective, I'd probably still edge to the 10K. I don't think there's a vast difference in it at all. I just think that 10K is so good when it comes to retention of ball speed, retention of spin across the face. Almost unbeatable. That massive footprint, low and far back, 10K and more. It's super, super stable. However, from a distance and speed perspective, the GT2's definitely got it easily. Like, definitely easier to get more swing speed. That will lead to more ball speed. That will probably lead to more distance, right? So, distance GT2, probably forgiveness and stability, slightly edge to the 10K. Look, sound, feel for me. GT2 takes it. The package is super sexy. Love the look from the top. Love the look down at a dress. Yeah, just super sleek, classic players from Titleist. Lovely. Big question is, will it knock the 10K out of the bag? I think a little bit more testing required with different shafts, but 100% that is a possibility because I love the look, I love the feel. It's still super stable, it's longer, you know, more speed. There's a lot of positives, right? Again, I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments below. Please let me know what you'd want to see next. There's so many head-to-heads we could do. It's ridiculous. I don't have enough hours in the day. As always, I appreciate you watching so much. Thank you. Please do subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.